watching ABC4 News, celebrating 75 years.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We're taking a look now at Alex Murdaugh, the once prominent South Carolina attorney who was found guilty in the murders of his wife and son and is now sentenced to life in prison. Now, as he begins serving his sentence, new details are emerging about Murdaugh's botched suicide attempt just a few months after those murders. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee with the details.
Disgraced former South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh now behind bars after being convicted in the murders of his wife and youngest son.
In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh, I sentence you for a term of the rest of your natural life. For the murder of Paul Murdaugh, I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life.
Murdaugh, in court for sentencing on Friday, still maintains his innocence.
I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never hurt my son, Pawpaw.
One of the jurors speaking exclusively to ABC says a key piece of evidence was the video placing Murdaugh at the scene of the murders.
He was there at the dog kennel video, which was right before the murders, or right before all the activity on the phones went off.
During his testimony, Murdaugh admitted that he lied when he said he wasn't at the crime scene in the moments before the murders, acknowledging it was his voice in the video. As Murdaugh begins his sentence, new details are emerging about his botched suicide attempt in September of 2021. Curtis Eddie Smith, a former client of Murdaugh, is charged with assault and battery of a high aggravated nature, pointing and presenting a firearm, insurance fraud, conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and assisted suicide.
He said, "I need you to kill me." I said, "Yeah, that ain't happening." And I figured I was going to try to scare some sense into him. And I shot the gun up in the air, so I know he didn't get shot because I didn't shoot him.
He says there was never any mention of a plan for Buster, Murdaugh's remaining son, to collect any insurance money. Smith has not yet entered a plea. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, New York.
Now to the latest on the toxic Ohio train derailment, the first of some 2,000 feet of track beginning to be removed from the site. Norfolk Southern beginning the process Friday after the EPA gave the green light. Now, the EPA also ordering testing for toxic dioxins. Residents are continuing to speak about the health issues they say are experiencing following their return to the area after the incident.
It was harder and harder and harder to take a deep breath. We ended up having to go to the hospital.
Ohio Department of Health releasing the first results of their health assessment showing the most common symptoms include headache, anxiety, coughing, fatigue and tiredness, irritation, and pain or burning of the skin. And a tanker truck hauling flammable liquid has crashed on a Maryland highway, catching fire and killing the driver. The fire, completely engulfing the truck in flames, also caused damage to multiple vehicles and homes. Police say the cause of the crash remains under investigation with no injuries reported right now. Officials believe the truck was hauling a gasoline liquid, which resulted in the huge blaze. And severe weather is taking a deadly toll. 3 people killed by falling trees in Alabama. In Mississippi, 1 woman dead after a tree branch struck her vehicle, and a man drowned in Arkansas after driving into high floodwaters. Here's ABC's Elwin Lopez with the latest.
Several reported tornadoes touched down across the South over the past 24 hours. This one touching down in Salina, Texas. Another one in Shreveport, Louisiana, and one in Kirby, Arkansas, where at least 20 homes were badly damaged or destroyed. Further north, strong winds ripping the roof off this church in Evansville, Indiana. And Kentucky was hit with thunderstorms and wind gusts of up to 75 miles per hour. Hundreds of thousands left without power.
The biggest damage appears to be trees and power lines and the poles on the power lines. When it comes to power, this is going to be a multi-day event.
The storm now moving into the northeast. Parts of northern New York and New England could see 6 to 12 inches. This powerful system first made its impact out west, dumping massive amounts of snow in some areas.
No one expects this much snow to be in Big Bear. We'll get this much snow, but it takes a whole season.
Families in San Bernardino pleading for help after being stuck in their homes for more than a week. The main road to Crestline and Lake Arrowhead closed to the public.
My wife is up there alone, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get to her as soon as possible.
Crews now hard at work trying to clear roads.
Residents who are still trapped, if you have food and water, please remain sheltered in place.
And the snow out west isn't over yet. Up to 5 feet of snow is expected in the Sierras over the next 5 days. Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Atlanta.
All right, and for us, we've got snow in our forecast as well. Snow showers coming down over northern Utah. Several inches already mounting in our mountain areas. How much is expected to pile up? We'll have the details coming up.